Welcome everybody to the podcast. I don't know what the name's going to be of this podcast, but this is something we're going to start off new. I'll probably in the next podcast I'll probably end up naming the podcast or whatever. But I would like to welcome Tiziler and Vampire Kisses to the podcast. And this podcast is basically we're going to be basically talking about gaming stuff. Pretty much that's it. Nothing else really. But basically the start of the podcast, every start of this podcast, we're basically going to talk. We're going to let them talk about like what game they recently been playing, and yeah. So who who wants to go first?
I,
You have a lot more to say. You can go first if you want.
I mean, I
well,
really
I mean,
you
I
can go
don't care.
first. Okay, I'll go first. Um, recently I've been playing Far Cry 5 actually, and guys, let me tell you, Far Cry 5 is actually it's really good. It's I'm actually kind of really happy about this game because it's way different from like Far Cry 4, Far Cry 3. Actually, it's like Far Cry 3, but like three times better as Far Cry 3. And like I don't even want to talk about Primal because I don't even think Primal is that good, honestly. And like I played Primal like one. I think I tried it out and I was like, no, I didn't really like this game. But Far Cry 5. But basically, the whole like thing about Far Cry 5 is basically if you guys know about cults or like you've ever looked up cults, there's like this whole game is just about like cult taking over like a town called Hope County or something like it's some weird title like that. But they take it over and they eventually just have like they raided everybody. There's like resistant fighters and everything trying to get them out of the town, and it's just like it's not good enough. So they have to call in like the U.S. Marshal and like federal people in there to help them, the sheriff and everything. And like for like I don't know like any like I don't know if this is gonna spoil, but like basically like the intro of the game is like you fly in a helicopter and you're going in for like the main leader of like the whole cult, and you try like you go and try to take him down or take him back to the jail cell that you guys need to take him to from the helicopter. So you land and you go to like this church, and there's like all these like cult like people just watching you guys, and like they have AK-47s. There's a guy on top of the building with an RPG and a guy with a flamethrower, and like all you have is a pistol. So I'm like sitting there walking through like this town, like this little like it's not even like I don't really know what it was, but it's like a little town or something like that. And I was just like, holy shit, like I can probably die right here if they like if I want to. Like only thing I had on me was a pistol. I was like, wow. And so as we were like pursuing like through like the town and stuff, we go to the church, and they in like we go through the church, and he's like talking about like Bible verses and stuff like that. This is also crazy too, is that this game actually got in trouble because it talked about like religion and stuff like that. And I was like blown away
Really?
because yeah,
If
dude,
it
like
gets in trouble for talking about religion, they might as well just ban Bioshock right then and there. Because if
Yeah.
you look at all the Bioshocks, especially Bioshock
Mm-hmm.
Infinite more than anything shows religion, racism, everything. So if they're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
knock on Far Cry 5 for that, I'm like, you might as well knock like every Bioshock, especially Infinite, out the fucking window.
Yeah.
I think the reason they went at like Far Cry 5 is that because it's like it had like cults and everything, and they thought like the cult influenced like people in real life. I'm like I don't really think that would happen because of the
Mm.
video game. I don't think like I'll look at this video game and be like, oh, I want to be just like this cult because it worked out for them, but it didn't. Like obviously it didn't.
They're also probably doing it too, because from what I've heard, even though I've never played or seen much of Far Cry, the most I've seen of Far Cry is Far Cry Primal. But like I think they're also doing it too, because from what I've heard from friends who've played it, they said they have to laugh because they actually base a lot of the stuff that's in current day America, and I'm like, Trump's probably just getting pissy about it. That's probably why they're rage like throwing a fit.
Baby rage.
Baby rage. I'm dead. But yeah, the game like the gameplay of it, it's like the gameplay of it. It feels so like it feels good. It feels like like the first person. It's the first person. The shooting feels like Call of Duty shooting, so which is it's really good. It's not bad. Like the game is well polished. There's really no bugs in it at all. Like there's no bugs in it. Like I've not come across any bugs so far in my like I think 5 hours of playthrough. I have not come through any bugs.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And like yeah, as you're going through the church, he's just saying Bible verses or whatever, and like you go to arrest him, and like you arrest him, and as you're leading him out to the helicopter, it's just like madness. Like madness start kicking off. Like people are throwing rocks at you, people are shooting at you. Like some guy jumps. Like as you're flying through the air, some guy jumps on the like rotor of the fucking helicopter and like kills himself just so the helicopter can crash. And it's like crazy as hell.
What?
Yeah.
Uh,
But I'm probably not gonna talk anymore about the story, but like as I'm playing the game, it's just like it's fun. Like, it's actually like really fun. I enjoy it a lot. Like you can go hunting in it, fishing. The guns, like this is probably one of the biggest arsenals in the Far Cry game. Like there's like probably like 9 pistols you can choose from. About 6 ARs, probably like 7 SMGs, 6 snipers. There's like 9 heavy weapons you choose from. There's melee weapons. There's throwing knives in this game. There's dynamite. There's remote explosives, proximity explosives. There's so much in this game. Like it's there's even like weed, bear. You can smoke weed. You can drink beer in this game as you're fishing or hunting or whatever the hell you're doing, and it's like really crazy.
Dang.
That really, like, with when you were describing the church, it really reminds me a lot of Bioshock Infinite, because I've loved Bioshock ever since the first one came out on 360. But I really loved Infinite because Infinite, I mean, like, with the first 2 Bioshocks, you could tell it was a religious cult, but more so with Infinite, you could see it a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
especially in the beginning of the game, after you summon the Songbird and you're up in New Columbia is what they call it. You
Yeah.
are in a church and you hear a lot of chanting, and practically, I mean, the one scene where they're throwing rocks at you, practically you're seen as the what
Like
they
the
don't really
inferior or
call
whatever.
or like they don't call you really the Antichrist, but they call you what do
Oh man,
they
it's been a
call
while.
for me too. That's why I can't remember. But practically, they see you as this guy that's trying to take the lamb, which is Elizabeth. And
Mm-hmm.
when you
Yeah.
go to like this like carnival thing, you choose the wrong number,
Yeah.
20, 26, 27, and then the moment you choose that number, they know you're the false prophet.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, the false prophet.
The
They
false
know they
prophet. Mm-hmm.
prophet, and then that's like when all hell breaks loose. You have guards coming after you, trying to kill you, so you're like trying to practically get the hell out of there.
Yep. It's crazy because at the very beginning of the game, when you are in the church, it's kind of like throwing the rocks and jumping on the helicopter just to like make sure things go wrong. Like the main priest or the leader guy literally tries to drown you,
Yeah.
to try and turn you to the religion or the cult or whatever you
Yeah.
really want to call it.
Or DeWitt in Infinite, because the priest was drowning him practically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What reminded me about this cult? It's crazy because this cult reminds me of a real life cult called like People's Temple. If anybody ever heard of that, it's basically a guy who made all these people believe in like I think like they had to like kill themselves or something like that to like go into heaven or something like that. So they drunk like it's probably one of the biggest like cults ever, besides the one Manson cult. But like they basically drunk like poison from the Kool-Aid, and like I think around 800 people died in one area.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Chuckling at that, but 9 times out of 10, there's cults that practically do that, and that's why it's like I get a kick out of how every year there's an end of the world like freak out, and it's like you do realize that those people that are promoting that are the type of people that'll tell you to drink the Kool-Aid, right?
yeah. Yeah, but I played that. I mean, I really enjoyed Far Cry 5. Like if like so far, like if you guys are thinking about getting Far Cry, like I'm gonna say right now, you probably should get it because actually it's really fucking good. It's really awesome. Like the cars, you can customize cars in it. You can customize anything. You customize your like this is the first Far Cry when you customize your character, which I'm like shocked, even though you don't see your character that much. But like you can customize your airplanes, boats, cars, and it's like crazy because it seems like Far Cry 5 is actually like going out more into like the RPG kind of thing. It's not like it's like a crazy ass like real life like Fallout kind of feeling.
Mm.
But besides that game, I also been playing I want to say like I mean I've been playing League of Legends and stuff like that. Like for any of you League of Legends people like to hear that shit or something. But bro, I get League of Legends like I don't. It's crazy because now when I like go on League of Legends, like I just saw a nade shot on there and I was just like, holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been doing is just playing Far Cry and stuff like that. I mean, if any, do any of you guys been playing anything?
I've been playing a lot of different games. Not really story mode games. I've never really been a super big story mode person. I've been playing like Rocket League and CS:GO, Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG, like just a lot of multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get into games like Far Cry and stuff, but at the same time, like I can't find myself to sit down and actually do it because I feel like some campaigns, like especially like the big blockbuster games, they take like 1 or 2 hours longer than they really should.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing with BioShock Infinite. Since we were talking about it, like the game took me like 11 hours to play through. I did it just in one day, but I felt like after the 8th hour, they could have just finished the game and it would have been fine. So I feel like a lot of times, like really good games could be better if they just shortened them like a tiny bit.
Well, actually, yeah. Actually,
I can.
when after like Vampire Kisses get done talking about what she was play, but I have I have an opinion about that.
About it is one thing that people get irritated with me is I've always been a 50-50 person. I see both sides of things, and I can see where you're coming from, but at the same time, depending on the game and the series, to me it determines whether or not, hey, this game should be longer to have a good, good effect to it, or the game should be shorter. Like for Destiny, for example, I have mainly been with Xbox all my life, but I am now on mainly PlayStation. And I've always loved the Halo series. Loved it. They were supposed to end it at 3. Being as greedy as they are, practically, Microsoft was like, hey, make more Halo games, and Bungie was like, no. So Microsoft practically bought Bungie out, and then Bungie, I think the last Halo game Bungie made, and then it started going to 343 Industries, and then they literally just made me hate the Halo series. I was like disappointed with it because they were destroying the storyline, everything. I mean, literally, the story was only written to 3. The Halo was destroyed. It was done.
Yeah.
Cortana dying, betraying him. It was just, it made no sense. Found out this is where I believe that the storylines should be longer. Is Destiny. Now, this is where on Activision a little bit, because Bungie's the main creator, but Activision is also involved with the making of Destiny, both the first and the second one. Original writer of Destiny is the original writer of the first 3 Halo games. True, like, it wasn't really clear why he stopped writing it, but all the DLCs, like, well, not all of them, but the DLCs up to the House of Wolves, so only the Dark Below House of Wolves storyline that you mainly play in the first game. And then there was more to the Dark Below and House of Wolves that was written into it as well. And when he stopped writing it, Activision got a hold of it. Hey, let's make the storyline like this, and then let's have people pay for these as a separate DLC. And they took a lot of the stuff, like missing information, out. Like, Dark Below was okay, and then House of Wolves was disappointing because House of Wolves, Mara Sov, like, we were supposed to see like more cutscenes with her. We were supposed to see her in general. Who did we see? The most, maybe like once or twice, and that's it. And it was just extremely disappointing. So in my case with having longer storylines for a better game, I really feel like the first Destiny really needed that.
Well, yeah, it's not like all games. I think the thing with Destiny is like with first games, like the first Destiny, you never really know how long to make a story or how to like do a campaign DLC. I think that's still like a new thing, is campaign DLC. Because if you think about it, only games like Destiny and those kind of like, I'd have to say Destiny is like, I guess it was trying to just not steal other ideas, but like take other ideas and then make it their own thing. So they didn't know how to do it, especially with a game like that.
I
I don't
think
know.
to me, I feel like Destiny, like the fall of Destiny is like, I wouldn't say it's the fall. It's just like I would be in Destiny if it wasn't just like, I feel like it's boring. Like it's like it has no like emotion or like charismatic to it. Like I feel because I watch people play through it and just like it's basically it's like the reason like why like people like that kind of game where you like you kill something, you loot, you get some rare loot, like you get really good stuff about that, but it feels like the story is just like not good enough or something like that, like as in like I'm not like I'm probably gonna compare this to, but like Borderlands is like it's fucking like good, it's good as hell because like the story is just
I
like
have a rare Mad Moxie statue, and then I have a Borderlands sleeve on my left arm starting. Just gotta say that there. I fucking love Borderlands. Okay,
Yeah,
continue.
Borderlands.
like Borderlands, like it's fun, like it's really fun, like it, like when you play Borderlands, you're just like holy shit, like the people you come across are goofy as hell. The enemies, like some of the enemies and bosses are goofy. The people you play as are goofy. What's his name? Claptrap, is that his name? It might.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Like the one thing I love about Borderlands 2 is even on the Handsome Collection, which the Handsome Collection got me really disappointed because I was expecting the first Borderlands to be in there because I loved playing as Lilith.
Yeah.
Like I loved always going with the Siren, but no, they just had the pre-sequel in Borderlands 2, and I'm like, that's not a collection then. If you do not have the entire games, that's not a collection.
Yeah.
But the one I think they did this in the original copy of Borderlands 2, but it's like I love how if you choose to play as Claptrap, it's like literally about to pick the most annoying character of the game. Are you sure? Yes.
Oh yeah, my
I'm warning
friends.
you right now.
My friends, when they told me when they played it, like Claptrap, like his like abilities are so fucking like crazy. Like when he uses his abilities, there's a good chance that he can like fuck everything up for his teammates. Which is like
even though a lot of people
crazy.
make fun of him with how annoying he is, Claptrap, if anything, if you're gonna play the pre-sequel, Claptrap is your best way to go because he's actually the best when it comes to his super abilities because he literally has anything and everything. I gotta say though, the one I cannot take seriously whenever I got it is literally you float and bounce around on a big floaty while going in guns ablazing. Like that's the only one I cannot take seriously. But he's honestly to me the best bet to go with when it comes to super abilities because that literally like I tried playing as him once. First boss battle in a matter of like 10 minutes compared to like I think 30 minutes with any other character.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one thing, like, that was the big complaint about Destiny, the first one. And even the second one now is just like, in a game like Borderlands, there is loot you find from killing enemies, but the story progresses fairly well.
Yeah.
But I think that's one thing people really complained about Destiny is that you only played the story to find those good weapons, and there really was no other payoff. There was no jokes or gags or anything like that. It was just gameplay. Which I think an important thing about a story is making like the cutscenes memorable and like the dialogue memorable.
Yeah.
I think Borderlands does
the
that really well.
thing is, I feel like too, is that Destiny, like, they made their story like Borderlands is just, it's like simple. It's like really simple. It's not like you have to overthink shit. But like Destiny, it's just like it's like a sci-fi. It's like Destiny reminds me of like Halo. Like they took like shit from Halo. And then, like, obviously, like, some things, like, Borderlands 2 and, like, probably a couple other stuff. Like, was it, they also had people, like, work on it that worked on Call of Duty or Titanfall or something like that for the shooting in the game. Which, I mean, I think the shooting looks good and stuff like that, but it's just, like, the biggest problem to me is just the story. It's just, like, I'm not interested. Like, if you don't have, like, if your game doesn't have a good story, I really don't want to play it, truthfully.
My biggest complaint too, like the reason why Destiny automatically had an opening in my heart is because, like I said, I've been with Bungie since practically the beginning of Halo. So that's where it gets an automatic love and opening in my heart. But like the one complaint I've always had too is how crappy the storyline is, and like how I guess you could say is to get things, and like it is ridiculous how you have to do certain things to get the best weapons, and it's like it seems like by the time you get the best weapon, it's like already like there's already something better than that that's out.
Yeah.
Is the same way. Like honestly, the only storyline or DLC I liked from the first Destiny was the Rise of Iron. The Rise of Iron to me was the only thing that really got intriguing with the first Destiny storyline. Destiny 2, however, I do like that story. I like Destiny 2's storyline better than the first one because it's a lot more intriguing.
Yeah.
You actually get to see what life is like outside of the tower and everything. And they actually add more comedy when it comes to the cutscenes in Destiny 2. Like I remember I was dying of laughter when Hawthorne meets after you rescue Cade, Zavala, and Ikora, you are back at the farm and Hawthorne meets them all for the first time. And Cade was like, "Are you sure you're not one of my hunters?" And then Hawthorne's like, "I'm sorry, I don't do capes." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I can tell that. Nice poncho." You know, it's just like even in the first one, even though there wasn't as much hilariousness with cutscenes, Cade I think is what really saves Destiny more so, like very slim to none because he's the comedic character.
Yeah.
And then the one thing I hate too is I hated how in Destiny 2 they did not have in any cutscene they did not have your character speak at all like they did a lot in the first one. And then the one thing I like to see when you have a game where you can create your own character and you can see your character in cutscenes, not only am I looking to see if you make them speak, but I'm also looking at facial expressions. Like, do they look angry when they're speaking angry, or do they like, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, we don't want no Mass Effect Andromeda face animations.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, I got that game. I was so fucking disappointed. I was like, what the fuck is this? Dude, that game, BioWare left me so disappointed with that game. So disappointed.
Well, I mean, it's hard to really. I think if you make a good story mode game, because there is a difference between story mode games and multiplayer games now. Like, they're releasing just multiplayer games aside from story mode games. So I think if you have a good story mode game and you make a good first and second or just a good second one, I think it's best to be able to like leave the story at an end to where you don't have to make another one just because you need to for money. Like, that's why like some good TV shows don't need to run for 13 seasons. Like, you can run for 10, that's fine, but you don't have to run for those 3 extra. Like, I think with Mass Effect, like, they messed up the ending at 3. So it's like, you could just leave it and just be like, let people be disappointed, or you could release a whole nother game and make it even worse.
The thing about Mass Effect, I was actually really happy that Andromeda, like, they're like, okay, this is way in the future, like, Commander Shepard's, like, dead and stuff, and, like, Earth, like, we need a new, like, place in the next galaxy, because Earth is, like, it's slowly dying, and they set out, like, all these new people out here to search for new, like, life on different planets in the galaxy of Andromeda. And it's like, I like that. Like, it felt really cool and everything. It's just like, it just fell short because like what turned everybody off was just like the animation. Like, the game wasn't ready, and that I feel like that just turned everybody off. Like, nobody doesn't want to play a game that's not ready.
I feel like that was the same issue with World War II for a while. The game was not ready because literally right the day as the game came out.
Like, I don't even want to talk about Call of Duty. It's always Call of Duty. Call of Duties are never ready. They're never ready for some reason.
Yeah, they have 3 years to make a game. They spend 2.5 on the campaign, and
like, it really depends on who is the main creator of the Call of Duty.
I get so far.
What I've noticed with every Call of Duty, the Call of Duties that seem to have the most issues is when Sledgehammer is in charge of it. Sledgehammer makes good games, don't get me wrong, but to me Sledgehammer is really big and known for their banhammer, and that's just about it.
Yeah, Well, the
Every
thing,
Call of Duty where Sledgehammer is mainly involved, that's the COD games that have a lot more issues than compared to Triarch or mainly Activision or even Raven Software.
well, the thing about chart, like, what they should have done, truthfully, they should have kept Sledgehammer and who's the other company?
Infinity Ward.
Infinity War. They should have kept them together, not split up, and they should gave Treyarch was good. Like, I don't know why they should just had two Call of Duties coming out. That's the Black Ops and Infinity War Sledgehammer projects. It wouldn't work. It would work fine for like Call of Duty players. Like, we would have been really happy. Like, we wouldn't have to have like, because it seems like even 3 years it doesn't seem like they don't finish the Call of Duties. And I don't get it. Like, you guys, like, oh, you work on fucking guns and maps. Like, what else? Like, I don't understand. Like, you in 3 years you should be able to get a lot of this shit done.
Yeah, you should be able to finish the maps and the like everything
Like, what were
besides
dude?
the actual coding of
Tyler,
the
Tyler,
game
you know,
should
dude,
be
World War
done in a
II
year.
maps are so fucking
They're
bad.
so bad. They're basically, if you copy pasted maps, that would be what World War II is. Think every map has two levels, a lower level and an upper level.
Yeah.
So you think Gibraltar, London Docks, you got Flak Tower. I mean, every single map has a top and a bottom to it. Maps don't need that. You need to have better laning systems. Like, you don't need elevation. That's the one thing that everybody
honestly,
complained about was elevation, and they just added it in a worse way.
What I think they need to do, I wish they would take the 3-lane out and actually just put like, I feel like 3-lane maps just like fuck up the whole uniqueness of like other good maps. Truthfully.
Well, I think the thing is for Call of Duty. Go ahead.
Another thing is too is like with every Call of Duty with their maps, World War II being the biggest one recently is they don't fix them fully right away. So you have people going in glitch places, and then you have players getting pissed, and then you have players getting banned for doing these glitches, and then they're getting angry. And it's like, okay, common sense. Don't go in a glitching area if you know you're eventually going to get banned or reported. And then two, they just should have fixed all these bugs from the beginning. I mean, that's what alphas are for. That's what betas are for, is to test these bugs and fix them before release.
Yeah. I think personally, an easy way to like find if there's a glitch spot that's easily accessible, just go into NoClip, like in the developer, like in the game, and just drop over an area. If you don't immediately slide off, then you need to change it. I think that'd be such an easy thing to do. It'd take 15 minutes to just NoClip, hit spacebar, and then drop down onto something. Because like a big map that happened on was Point du Hoc in World War II. There was a ledge glitch where all you had to do was just jump off one ledge and you land in like in a mountain basically, and that didn't get patched until the middle of January, 2 months into the game.
Yeah.
So that literally all you would have to do is just NoClip from on top of it, and you would be able to know, oh, I can fall right through this. Let's fix that. There's a lot of issues that I think only issues like this happen in Call of Duty in a multiplayer game that could just be solved by basically doing nothing. Like, it's simple stuff that anybody can do.
Yeah, that's what, like, and plus, like, dude, it's just feel like the maps are just, like, I think Treyarch's 3-lane maps are good, but I need, like, anything other than that, like, Sledgehammer and Infinity Ward's, like, 3-lane maps are just shit. Like, they need to go back to, like, having just open maps. Just having cover, a lot of cover, and that, like, I feel like they will go back into, like, where they were good at. Like, really good at.
Well, if you think about, I think Black Ops 3 had some of the best maps, because even though they were all 3-lane maps, each sector of the map was a different thing. One map that really stands out to me was Stronghold. It was a snow map, and I hate snow. In every other Call of Duty, I hate snow maps. I even hate Infection, which is a snow map in that game. But Stronghold is different. You have the right side of the map, right or left side, it's a house. So there's different elevation changes, a lot of cover. It's really tight, hard to fight through. The middle of the map is open, and it's just more like you just go to kill people. And then on the other side, there's a bunker, and it's, just, pure gun skill that you have to fight for. It's not movement or anything like that. So I think
it's not about stealth at that point.
Yeah, it's not about stealth. It's you just got to make sure, like, you just got to do it. So I think if you make one map into like 3 different areas, the map is good. You know, like if you think about in World War II, you can't really do that because they're all like historical places
Yeah.
or like actual war zones, and
Yeah.
it's hard to really change that. And I think I respect them for not changing it, but at the same time, like I think they could have made, like, my biggest thing is how every map has to have like 2 levels to it. You can almost put an elevator in every map because there's an upper level and a lower level to fight from. Like if you just make it one level, especially with no jetpacks, I think that gives a lot of disadvantage to the people on the bottom because there is bad angles in Call of Duty. Like the camera systems are really bad. I think, like Roddy said, just make it a big open field where you have a house, you can get on top of a house with a ladder, and that's it. You know, you shouldn't be able to just, you know, run to one place at the beginning of the match and have a superior edge for the rest of the time
Yeah, that's
because
how,
of the height.
yeah, especially in World War II, there's like obviously me and Tyler knows that like there's some like you can get on like some like head spots or like head glitches are just like crazy. Like you don't even see the person before you die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's just like what the fuck? Like and that's what's like that's what's also upsetting. Like that's why like I feel like Infinity War and like Sledgehammer they need to go back to like they just need to go back to that because like they did that like all their maps were just so good. Like it's so fucking good. Like I love like MW2 maps, MW4 like MW4 maps are good, MW3 maps were good. Like I really had no problems with like their maps. Like the only thing that you probably have problems with are like all the Modern Warfare franchises probably like I mean like probably some of the guns maybe some of the guns were decent, some of them were not. But other than that, it's like they had good maps. Like I feel like Activision's like, well, look at Black Ops, you know, BO2 was amazing, BO1 was amazing, BO3 was amazing, and like I know we split you guys up, but I want you to copy their map formation, like their map formula, and I feel like Sledgehammer and like Infinity War was just like, well, we don't know what the fuck to do because we never did this.
I think if you look at Black Ops 1, they have like some of the best maps. Like if you think about firing range, it was studio.
Yeah.
In Black Ops 2.
Yeah.
That map isn't a 3-lane map, but there's 3 different sections again where you have like the middle, where it's like kind of like a slant up.
Yeah.
And then you have like the left side, which is more of a curve, and then you have the tunnel. It's 3 lanes, but at the same time, it looks more like a W than just a box with, you know, 3 streets on it.
Yeah.
It's an actual map, not just a square. But I mean, like with Shipment from COD 4, they've remade that in almost every game, and it still survives because it's not because of its fast pace or anything, but it's fair. Like if you think about it,
kind of like Nuketown as well, because
Nuketown.
Like they change Nuketown every time. I mean, like given Black Ops 2, the only time Nuketown was there was zombies, and but still, I like how Nuketown has developed and evolved. I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It gets a lot of hate in Black Ops 2 for it being a zombie map, but I was like, listen, I like the fast-paced zombies. I mean, even though it's really difficult, like, especially with Black Ops 3, how they redid like, with Chronicles, how they redid Origins, I loved the Origins map, because literally right when you go in first round, it's fast-paced straight away. And that's why I like Nuketown. Like, Nuketown on zombies in Black Ops 2, I can get up to, I think, round 45 just by myself.
Yeah.
It's literally just how you work it.
Yeah. If you think about the best maps in all of Call of Duties, they're all from Treyarch, mostly. I mean, even Treyarch's bad maps are good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't see how London Docks is going to be an iconic map like Raid is. You know, like, they're not going to remake London Docks in 3 years. They're not going to remake Gibraltar in 3 years.
No,
like,
they're not going to remake any of those fucking maps.
Yeah, no. I mean, they didn't even release a lot of maps in the game. I think they came out with like 11 or 12 just on the disc, and then half of the game modes don't even play half of those maps. So really, if you play, you know, anything besides Domination, Team Deathmatch, Kill Confirmed, like you're only going to get a few maps.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one good thing about Black Ops 3 is that there was like 1 trillion maps, and you almost hated how much you couldn't play the one map you really wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think you're right.
World War II is the one map I hate the most on World War II is Gustav Cannon. Gustav Cannon to me, like it is the worst map ever, because it's like, okay, don't get me wrong, I like big maps, but Gustav Cannon is way too freaking big, especially in like smaller game sets, like like Search and Destroy or Prop Hunt, for example. Prop Hunt,
Hmm.
to me, it's not fair on either end because it is too damn big, and it's literally, I literally believe it takes like, I think like a minute to run from one end to the fucking other.
Yep. I think that really shows like the elevation thing I was talking about. You get on top of the cannon, unless you get sniped, you're not
You're
gonna get
honestly
off the
set. Like
top.
all you need is like honestly, if you just go up there, was it FMJ like machine guns have a sight on there, have extra mags, just spray.
Yeah, that's it.
You're gonna get a nuke, no time.
Yeah, I mean that's the map that really shows like the flaws in World War II. Like they couldn't even make a 3-lane map that big like good.
Yeah.
I mean, with a map that big, it's almost like the size of London docks,
Honestly,
like 2
honestly, you
London
know what
docks.
they should have done? They should have just took off that big ass train. Just like had open field. Just like here, go at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, put like make it
That's
more of
honestly
like a
what they should have done.
cityscape.
Yeah.
Like I understand it's historically accurate, but at the same time, like just don't make it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, the thing is, like, they didn't. I don't know why they did. Like, I don't know why they made it historically. Like, they didn't have to do that. They could just made like their own map instead of trying to make maps. Like, I can understand like big maps. Like, would have been cool if they actually had a map. Like they would like made the was it the Normandy D Day? Like, if they would have like made a multiplayer map instead of like the what is that one? What
War
war?
mode.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
War mode.
instead of having that map like.
Technically,
Instead of having like a war map, map of it, like have a multiplayer like team deathmatch map or something like that, I would have been like, okay, this is kind of cool, but like I don't
That
know.
could have been the new Nuketown.
Yeah, honestly,
You
yeah,
could have had some parts where, like, if you run in the sand, it's gonna slow you down. Like, there's gonna be, like, that could have been a perfect map where you fight half on the beach and then like half just, on the actual land a bit,
yeah,
and then you just, you go at it. You can make it like a new shipment, basically.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be crazy insane. It doesn't have to be completely accurate. But I think, they could have even split up the war maps since they're already developed. Just cut off half of the war maps.
I know a map really pisses me off. By the way, since we're talking about World War II maps, is that one map where it's like those fucking like close quarter buildings that are all like demolished. I don't even know what the map is called, but I hate that map,
Aachen or something.
dude. It's just like down middle, just basically somebody's gonna be camping with a sniper down mid, or with the FG, or they're going to be in the buildings with shotguns running around, or they're gonna be on that heady in that one spot, and like as you're coming out that one on the opposite of the heady, as you're coming out, like they have full fucking like vision of you. There's no cover you can get into.
Yeah.
Like this game, like this makes this game like so. It makes it like unfair, honestly, to like a lot of people.
I just can't like. I think that's why a lot of games like I don't want to get into this yet, but like I think that's why Fortnite was able to take over because everybody was playing World War II before Fortnite got really popular. There were still a lot of people playing it.
Yeah.
But then you could be the worst person at Fortnite, and you can sit in a corner till the very end of the game as long as you're in the circle, and you can win if you get lucky. But in Call of Duty, if you run out, you can't even see somebody's body, and they can see all of you and you die. There's nothing you did wrong. You're just trying to play.
then it's just all like every Call of Duty has this horrible logic, even with hardcore, where people are supposed to die faster and easier. I can't tell you how many times I loaded multiple bullets into somebody and they shoot me once and I'm down. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Also the thing is like the hit markers are pretty bad in the game too, like really bad.
Yeah.
Like
there's been times in Call of Duty where I've gotten hit markers, like 3 or 4 hit markers, and then in the kill cam after I die, their screen isn't red at all. Like they didn't even get hit with one bullet.
Like that's
either connection or just the game registered bad or whatever happened.
I think, like honestly, I think like I think they need this update. I think their servers are like 10 years old or something like that. I know the servers are old though, or something.
Yeah,
It's
been
just
84 years.
It's bad.
It's rough.
You know, it's crazy though. It's like they're multi like $1 billion company, and they can't like make their games even fucking like better.
Well, because Activision was bought out by Blizzard or vice versa, they have a lot of computer games now too. Like Overwatch is one of the biggest ones. They'd rather care about Overwatch than Call of Duty because Overwatch has a lot of potential to grow. Where Call of Duty is kind of like it has to be a
Well, the
reprint
thing, like,
almost, which
honestly,
I don't
I'm not
agree
gonna
with.
lie. Call of Duty, I think after Black Ops 3, I was like, okay, the next Call of Duty should do what Black Ops 3 did, have specialists, because specialists were actually, like, they're big fucking game changers and made the game pretty excited when
Yeah.
Oh
people would
yeah,
pop their
like I
abilities.
loved Black Ops 3 with just
Mm-hmm.
because for the specialists. Like, don't get me wrong. Like when I was on Xbox, because when I had to switch over to PlayStation 4, I had to start over. But on Xbox, I had every specialist unlocked. I was good with a lot of them, but the one specialist I was good at the most, is for my PlayStation. So what is she called? Sparrow. I have and I used her. I didn't use her actual bow and arrow, but I used her for her vision pulse
Mm-hmm.
because, especially when I would do search and destroy,
Yeah.
that vision pulse came in handy to a T. Like I cannot stress it enough. Like if you're gonna play as a specialist in search and destroy and you really want to be sneaky, go with her and her vision pulse because that will get you far.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like, that's why I thought, like, after, like, honestly, I thought Black Ops 3, like, the thing about, like, that made me like Black Ops 3 is obviously, like, the jetpacks and wall running and shit like that, but besides that, like, the maps were good, the guns were not bad, they're okay. The specialist thing was I liked it. Sometimes I didn't like it, but sometimes I was like, okay, this makes this game pretty excited, and, like, people who watch this excited. And then, like, when World War II came out, it was like, we didn't have no specialists, right? Or I guess, like, we kind of did, but it was like shit. It was like, what, if you're airborne, you run faster, and that's it. If you're
Mm-hmm.
infirmary, you
Oh,
you sway faster when you look down sights or something like that. It's just like,
Yeah.
what the
I
fuck?
mean, it's like so minor. I think Infinite Warfare kind of messed up the specialists too,
Oh yeah, I
because
forgot about Infinite Warfare.
they
Holy
have
shit.
they have they have specialists, but they have them to where the like they had an active camo like there was in Black Ops 3, but the active camo was really reflective, almost rainbowy, to where you could see people with active camo
Yeah,
like 30% of the time. There was no issue.
yeah,
Like a lot of the things they took from BO3, they kind of just made, they like nerfed them basically. They copy pasted them and then nerfed them. I think Black Ops 3 like really perfected their specialists at the end of the game,
yeah,
especially like even with Heatwave. Like Heatwave, as OP as it was, like it still could, you could use glitch and somebody would heatwave you and you could glitch and then you're gone. They can't kill you. Like they made it to where it was basically another gun to use was your specialist. If you had an ability, then one would cancel out another. If you
yeah,
had an actual weapon, then the annihilator would pretty much cancel out the bow and arrow. They're the same thing.
yeah.
Like the flamethrower. I mean,
That's
I
why
mean, it,
that's why I
I don't know.
think, like, obviously, I think, like, Call of Duty, the community, and, like, all the business and developers and all that. I think they looked at Overwatch and was like, they had to look at Overwatch when they made specialists.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way they did. They either looked at Overwatch or they looked at mobile games like League of Legends and, like, Dota or something, and they're like, well, like, cause you, like, I don't, like, honestly, when I started playing League of Legends, I was like, holy shit, how can somebody get to this boring ass game? But as, like, I started playing League of Legends more, it's like, this game is actually pretty fucking excited. Like, when you, like, especially, like, because I play, like, a Katarina shit, so, like, I just get triple kills, quads, and whatever, and like that, and, like, every time you pop her all, it's just like, holy shit, it's like a big game. Like, it, like, basically, like, when you have a Katarina in your game, like, people just jump on you because they have to kill you because, like, you're probably one of the biggest game changers ever in the fucking League of Legends games. And that's like, when you play Call of Duty, that's how it felt like about what, Heat Wave, who else? Connect Armor. Connect Armor is a big fucking game changer too.
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, they even like because in competitive, like just in the search and destroy play, they had to ban Vision Pulse because it would be OP,
Yeah,
and like they had to ban Kinetic Armor because it would be OP.
yeah,
So like there is some things where they're not good in all settings,
yeah,
but they
That's why
still
I
had their
said, like,
purpose. Yeah.
that's why I said because I mainly use Sparrow. time where I would use her vision pulse the most is when it came to search and destroy, because to me that's really the only game mode that it seems most useful, because it's kind of has like search and destroy practically has setup. Only difference is Rainbow Six Siege is a lot more difficult, but it's like if you get shot once, you're dead. So it's like you really have to be sneaky. You gotta literally pay attention to all the noises around you.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, in any other game mode, I try to use her bow and arrow, because the vision pulse then to me, like in TDM, it doesn't go for much use.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
See, I think that's important
yeah.
too, because you could use Heat Wave and Search and Destroy, and it would be useful for one kill. But then if you're like playing Domination or Hardpoint, you can run in behind 3 or 4 people, Heat Wave them, and get 3 or 4 kills. And
Yeah.
it's just, I think they did a good job of like balancing it over all the game modes, where like you're never gonna use the new Resistance person in
Yeah.
World War II. Like, it's the worst thing they probably could have came out with. All it does is mess up your radar if you're close to them. Like, there's no other use for that class, or, you know, quote unquote specialist. I think they just I think that's why futuristic Call of Duty is almost better than this one. I'm not saying the ones before it, but World War II isn't as good as Black Ops 3, because
Yeah.
if you even took out the jetpacks and just had the specialists, the game would be better than World War II.
Yeah.
To me, when I found out how Black Ops 3 was going to be, I was sketchy at first, because I was one of those people where it's like, I don't like how Call of Duty is leaving their roots, blah, 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 blah. But then when I actually tried it out, I was like, oh, hey, I actually like this. And then Infinite Warfare, but it's like, to me, if they had more of a Black Ops 3 approach with their specialists and everything, I feel like I would have liked it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
To me, Infinite Warfare took the futuristic a little bit too far, and that's what got me to not really like it. Like, if anything, if we're being honest, I really only got Infinite Warfare just to get Modern Warfare Remastered.
I think a lot of people did, honestly. The thing about Infinite Warfare is just like, it was too boring. It was way too boring.
Yeah, the game, I played Infinite Warfare like as much as I could. If you played public matches for like more than an hour, you would want to claw your eyes out, because it's just the same thing. You run on one wall, you kill a guy, and then you jump on the other wall and you kill another guy. But I mean, like in Black Ops 3, you could camp and you'd be fine. Like, play like the old Call of Duty. Or you could go fast and use your jetpack and play it like it, you know, that way.
Yeah.
Or you could use your specialist, you know, sitting back like with the Tempest or something, use his gun, and then after you're done, like, go and sprint at him again. Like, there was a million ways to play Black Ops 3 just as a public match, which most people play it for. They're not into competitive, you know, a ton.
Remember one time I made these people freaking rage in TDM, because this entire team was camping in one place. I can't remember what map we were on, but I was running along the wall, and then my gravity spikes were ready off the wall, and I used my jetpack a little bit, and so where it busts me like right in the middle of where they were, I slammed my gravity spikes down, and I literally wiped out the entire freaking team, and they were pissed. I was getting hate message after hate message, and I'm like, sorry.
Well, yeah. Get good.
Vampire Kisses, like, what games have you been playing recently?
Okay, so I guess I'm next. Well, lately.
Oh, my bad. Ty, are you done?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay, well, a lot of the games I've been playing really a lot lately, and I'm really a variety gamer, so literally, I guess with what I'm gonna say I've been playing will show. Like, the first game I've been playing a lot of lately is like the Life is Strange, and then Life is Strange Before the Storm. Now, chronological order, Before the Storm is the first game, so it's like anybody who the series, my recommendation is to, everybody has their own opinions, but to me it's like, I really believe you should play Before the Storm first. Play Life is Strange, where you play as the main character Max Caulfield first, and then you play Before the Storm, where you get to play as our best friend Chloe and get to see her side of the story. you're just gonna be upset the entire game because you already know what happens to a lot of the main characters.
I think like honestly, I feel like if you played before the storm, I feel like it gives you a better like outlook and like better judgment at the decision of the end of the first. Well, not the first, but no, life before the storm or Life is Strange. I mean,
Life is Strange. The reason why I'm choosing to talk about this one first is because I literally am getting an arm sleeve dedicated to it, and literally it's really impacted my life. Like, Life is Strange. The reason why it's so popular is because main topics that people do not like to discuss in real life, and it's bringing a lot of these topics of reality to life.
Yeah.
In the beginning and the end of the game, where this game has gotten respect for me, is that in the beginning and the end of the game, it's like if you or someone you know has been triggered at all during the playthrough of this game, .com/contact and will help you. So I was curious one day, and I actually went to the website and your birthday, it asked which country you're from, and then when you know, after you put that stuff in, it literally gives you contact information for everything. I'm talking about like drug addiction shelters, domestic abuse shelters, homeless shelters, lines, and I mean everything. And I'm like, this game has gained literally so much respect for me, especially the big character, especially lately because of Before the Storm, Chloe Price. I have never related to a character so much in my life, and I love her so much. Angsty teenager that is going through her rebellious phase. She's been through a lot of loss. Her best friend practically left her at the time she needed her most. In the second, well, chronologically, the second game, she finds out her soulmate, practically her other best friend, is practically dead. And so she's just going through all this loss, and then towards the end of the game where you play as Max, like I can't sacrifice Chloe for the life of me, but it's like she proves a lot of good points because I can't tell you how many times you have to save Chloe from dying. So it's like Chloe proves a lot of good points when she's talking to Max. She's like, I really feel like wasn't meant to be here. Like, look how many times you had to save me, blah, 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 blah. So it's like it gets emotional there because she's practically saying, just let me die.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
So that is like a 10 out of 10 game I recommend. Plus, if you don't want to deal with, you're going to deal with the emotional issues either way, but
I'm not gonna lie, that game is like I don't care, like dude, that game is pretty emotional. It is really emotional. Like I never played it, but I watched people play through it, and I was like, holy shit! It's crazy.
And like I said, I relate to a lot of stuff that's in there because I've been through a lot of stuff in my life, and I'm only 20 years old, so it's really impacted my life. And then for those perverts out there, like, you're gonna deal with the emotionalness every day, but for those perverts out there, if you want to see some nice girl on girl stuff, and you know what I'm saying?
I'm dead. I'm dead.
Besides Life is Strange, a lot of is Monster Hunter World. Now, when it comes to games made by Capcom, I know and heard of Monster Hunter before, but I've never played any of the previous Monster Hunters. The biggest game I've only played from Capcom, besides, like Street Fighter, is the Resident Evil series. Like, you gotta love the Resident Evil series, or you at least have to say you've played one game from it. But I've been playing Monster Hunter World, and practically, it's like, from what I've seen and heard, Monster Hunter games, but this time it's an open world. It's an online RPG. You can create your character. There's literally, to fight a lot of the same monsters per ending because you can create bigger and stronger armor, especially once you get into your high rank. Your high rank, you have the same creatures, but they're tougher to kill. You can go into arenas. you have the same armor, but at the same time, it's not the same. It looks different. Like there's a different design to it. Even though it could cause for the same materials, it's a hell of a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Who is phenomenal. I mean, and then going back to like what we were talking about earlier with Destiny, going back to like what I said, the cutscenes. Because the cutscenes, your character may not speak at all. I mean, I would have loved it if they made our characters speak in the cutscenes, but our character's pissed, you're gonna know it. If they're happy, you're gonna know it. If they're drunk, you're gonna know it. It's really good, and it's a nice. If you don't want it for the online RPG effect, it's really recommend it for people who like survival, because literally, you have to gather materials to make your armor, to make your weapons. You have to gather materials to make potions. It's literally, and honestly, to me, by far, out of 2018, it's the best online RPG there is. Like, it blows any other one out of the water.
Already so far.
Yeah, I mean, really, that's my opinion of it. And it's like, I've literally a really good online RPG that really.
I'm not gonna lie though. Monster Hunter, like the one that just like that you're talking about, like they made so many fucking improvements from the last one. Like I was like, I saw the ones before that. I was like, I'm probably not gonna touch that. But since this one came out, I was like, holy shit! Like I might have to touch this one because it looks pretty damn good. And I heard like it's less. I heard it's like less like grindy than other ones. I heard the other ones were a lot grindier.
Okay, it's less grindy. It's less grindy when when you're in the lower rank.
Yeah.
When you're in the high rank stuff, though, that's when things are getting old. And that's when you really have to grind, because practically 90% of the entire game, I was able to get through everything by myself. But when you get into the higher rank stuff, challenging. I mean, the monsters when they get more infuriated, it's a hell of a lot harder to beat them. But that's what makes it more interesting, is because it doesn't get boring. It's not like Destiny where it's like it's the same damn thing over and over. It's always something different.
Yeah. I do feel like though that like Monster Hunter, like it has that like this like its own style. What makes it like Monster Hunter. And that's why like honestly when the game has it, I really appreciate that. Like what makes games like no, like they have their own style. Like no, obviously like Saints Rose. Like Saints Rose was like a gangster game, but now it's like batshit crazy and like I appreciate that. It's like their own thing. Like they know like they're called like the GTA 5, the other GTA 5. Like people were like reference that Saints Rose was, but like obviously they're not, because like the shit that they're like the shit in GTA 5 and Saints Row are like way different, because like Saints Row 3, Saints Row 2, and like Saints Row like 4 and stuff was just like batshit crazy. Like Saints Row 2, even though it's more like gangster, is like more gangster than Saints Row 3, it was still like some of the shit you did in it was like really fucking crazy.
Yeah. So it's just like Life is Strange. Monster Hunter is a big one. I really recommend, because it's the first online RPG in a while that honestly I would over Final Fantasy. Because the last online RPG that I played was 2014. I liked it, but to me the online RPG that will out of like really a Final Fantasy will always be 11. Like 11 was great. I mean, 14 has come a long way, but it's.
Did you play the new Final Fantasy? Which one is that?
He has the newer one, and I'm about to get into that.
All right.
And then the third game, I'm playing a lot of lately, is just mentioning, which is Dissidia. Practically, how I describe Dissidia to people is, if you played Kingdom Hearts, it's practically Kingdom Hearts fantasy.
Nothing is like Kingdom Hearts.
I'm dead.
Okay, here's okay. I agree with that comment, but here is where I say it's like Kingdom Hearts. It's like Kingdom in the Hearts in the sense of all these worlds are mashing together and you don't know why, so you're going around trying to figure it out. But instead of having Disney characters, it's just all Final Fantasies.
I think honestly, I think Kingdom Hearts did that well, where they just like they linked everything together really well, but also made it separate to where it was like a new experience every world you went to. Because I didn't play a lot of the Kingdom Hearts because when they came out, I was really, but I watched my brother play through like 1 and 2 and 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, like every one, and I think Kingdom Hearts did a lot well with like collaborating two things that really shouldn't be together too. That's why I like games are like, well, you can't put this and that together. It's not supposed to be that way. And it's like, well, you have Final Fantasy and you have Disney making like one of the most popular like adventure games. Pretty much.
Enix and Disney.
Like the first Kingdom Hearts, you're in practically Final Fantasy X's world because like you're on the island with Waka. I don't think you see Titus, but you see Waka right off the bat, and I'm like, oh my god, this is Final Fantasy X, man. Like the first thing I did when I was able to roam around freely as Sora was I challenged Waka to Blitzer Ball battle, and I was like, oh my god. I was
it's really cool.
Like Kingdom Hearts 2 is just like fucking full Final Fantasy. There's like so many characters in that.
Yeah. And I think I don't know. I hope Kingdom Hearts 3 is good since it's going to come out like within the next year or two because they're actually showing stuff of it a lot lately. I hope that it has like a balance because like you said, Kingdom Hearts 2 had a lot of Final Fantasy. Now, like that's not bad, but I think if you make like the worlds Disney centric, I think you should have like one of each. So like say like you have a Pinocchio world, I think you should have Geppetto and then like kind of like I guess like a crafter or something. I don't really know Final Fantasy very well, but like somebody who's like I don't know, like a blacksmith or a craftsman or something. So, I don't know.
Yeah,
but with the,
you go ahead. You go
ahead. But with Dissidia, it's very storyline because, like I said, nothing will ever compare to Kingdom Hearts. But like where it's like Kingdom Hearts is all the Final Fantasy worlds are practically mashing together. The storyline is amazing. They have summons from just about every Final Fantasy game in there. And obviously, one of the top two big summons that's common out of every Final Fantasy that they put in there right off the bat is Shiva and Ifrit. They're probably the biggest summons known fantasy. And it's storyline. And I love how they approached it too. It's earn the storyline. And by earn I mean you when you do offline or online battles, memoirs. And each memoir you unlock is a cutscene, battle, you name it, to the storyline. It's like it's training you for the storyline because the storyline there's no difficulty you can set. It's like gold battles and up, and gold and up is like hardest battles. Like I think the highest it goes up to is a diamond. So it's automatically difficult. So in a sense, I really like how they do that because it's like in offline mode and in an online mode, you can train so you're practically ready for those battles, especially line because there's multiple storylines, but it all has the same ending. It reaches to one ending. Practically, it gives you a chance to battle with every character as well to see who's your fit and how you want them set up with their skill sets and everything. Like I noticed my perfect fit when it comes to magic using is Y'shtola from 14. Now, typically, I'm always the tank, so this is different for me, but I've noticed that I'm better fighting with her than I am anything else. And then when it comes to more of your tank assassin type battle styles, I was actually surprised to say this, a lot better with Noctis than I am any other previous like assassin there is in Final Fantasy. Like, the big Cloud Strife, there's
Yeah.
Sephiroth, there's Bart, there's just
Do,
everybody. Out of everybody, I'm good with Noctis, and he is the most recent character.
do you actually, did you like Noctis? Like, did you like his character, or?
In my opinion, here's my little joke I like to crack with Noctis and Cloud, okay?
Alright.
Noctis is the Backstreet Boys.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah, Noctis is the Backstreet Boys. He looks pretty, but he's not that good. Where Cloud is NSYNC, and he can kick your ass to Kingdom Come with no questions asked. He could probably flick you with his pinky, and then you'll be dead.
For sure.
If anything, if I had to choose who's the ultimate, like who's the strongest between the two, Cloud would honestly blow anybody out of the water. Like, he would probably kill Noctis within not even 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, the thing, like, it's crazy. Like, did you like Noctis, like, game? Like, I don't know what Final Fantasy that was, though. There's...
The most recent one.
Yeah, like,
besides the City of 15 is the most recent one.
Did you like it, like, at all, or?
I haven't played much of it. I streamed it the other night, and I just got out of the tutorial, really. Like, I'm literally in the beginning where you're just at the gas station waiting for your car to be fixed.
Yeah.
Tutorial, his battle style literally is the same way in Dissidia, so that's why when I was going through the tutorial and battling, I got used to it right away, because when it comes to, like I said, when it comes to more the assassin tank like battle style, I go with I'm a hell of a lot better with Noctis than I am anybody else.
Yeah. Actually I played some of it too, and I was like, oh, Noctis. I was just like, him, like, it just reminded me they're in a fucking boy band. Everywhere they go, like, their adventures are just like, they're on a boy band, and they're like going like from like tour from like other tours, because it's like their stories are just like crazy as hell. I don't know. They just remind me they're from like a boy band, like all of them, like Prompto and Noctis, like there's times I'm just like, just kiss, just kiss already, just get it over.
I mean, like I said, Final Fantasy 15 are the Backstreet Boys, and then Final Fantasy 7, where Cloud was first originally introduced, Sephiroth and Cloud is NSYNC. They're actually good. They look good, and they're actually good. Final Fantasy 15 Noctis, Prompto, I think Gideus or Gladius,
Yeah,
whatever
Gladius.
his name is. Backstreet Boys. They look pretty, but they can't do shit.
Yeah, but dude, Noctis.
I love his powers.
I did a lot too. I think his powers made him like fucking like badass. Like, honestly, like him like dashing, like teleporting in the air and shit. Was just like, holy shit.
Love his powers, but like I said, if him and Noctis were going into a full-on death battle, my bets are on Cloud, because Cloud out of the water. I mean, even putting Bartz against Noctis, Bartz can blow Noctis out of the water. Probably Noctis and Cloud both, if we're being honest.
Yeah. Is that all you've been playing?
I've practically been playing a hell of a lot of lately, and they're all in my book a good 10 out of 10. I mean, even for those who don't know Final Fantasy, Dissidia gives like a good introduction to every character, because they have all the Final Fantasies that they have in there, 1 through 15, they have Type O, and then they have Tactics. So it's practically almost every Final Fantasy up to date combined in the one. And then with the DLC that's going to be coming out soon, they're going to be adding more characters from each Final Fantasy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Ones that you were stuck with.
But I have to say, back to like Life is Strange, like honestly, like if you guys are like listen, like whoever, like if you guys are listening, like honestly, like for me, like story driven like adventure games, like I will have to put like, if you ever play or you ever watched Night of the Woods, I have to put that like number 1, and like Life is Strange I put like at number 2, but still, like, no matter the fact is, like Life is Strange, like if you guys want to like play a story driven game like Ventures and shit, you play like Life is Strange, because Life is Strange is probably one of the best like fucking like story driven games ever.
Oh yeah,
dude, it like, I'm not gonna lie, it is so fucking like, the story is fucking good, like the The voice actors are fucking amazing. Like the personality of Chloe, Max. Who's Chloe's stepdad? David? Is that his name? Or am I wrong?
As she likes to call him.
Yeah, like they're all good. Like they're all voice acting on fucking point. Characters on
I've
point.
practically,
Everything.
no joke, like I will literally pull out my phone real quick because I've talked to a lot of the Life is Strange cast. Practically the only people I have not talked to from the Life is Strange when it comes to I'm talking about like the big women of Life is Strange. So talking um and who they voice. There's Ashley Burke, who is the original Chloe Price, and then also for those of you who don't know and are Borderlands fans, Ashley Burke not only being Chloe Price of Life is Strange, she is Tiny Tina. Um,
Oh man.
Yeah, it's
Raquel, who is Max Caulfield. Diane Hunton, yeah, I think that's how you pronounce her last name. There's Diane Hunton, who voices Kate Marsh. There's Kylie Brown, who is Rachel Amber. Who is Steph, and then there's Rihanna DeVars, who is Chloe in Before the Storm in every episode besides Farewell. Which I love how they did Farewell.
yeah.
Well,
I thought it was
they
really
called
good.
the episode Farewell for a reason. It's goodbye because Don't Nod has confirmed another Life is Strange, and it's going to be different story, different characters. So literally, Farewell was called Farewell.
How do you feel about that? Since you since you like love Life is Strange, like are you like upset that like you don't get to hear from Max and Chloe anymore?
I'm upset about it, yes, but at the same time, I'm curious to see what new characters there's going to be, and
Yeah,
what the new storyline is going to
that's
bring.
why I am too. I wonder like if the new character is gonna have any like special powers like Max.
Hmm. But basically, out of everybody, this game literally has impacted my life. Like when I was streaming mode, I bawled at the ending because it was really because you get to see how practically Max Chloe around the time her dad died. So Max practically left Chloe when Chloe needed her the most. Given that she couldn't help it, but where I especially get pissed off is quarter that she leaves for Chloe. She promises Chloe that she's always going to talk with her and they'll be best friends forever. Yet when you're playing Before the Storm, if you look through the text messages, Chloe texts Max every day and Max barely says crap to her.
Yeah,
It pisses me off
you
there.
know what's crazy though? It's like honestly, like I had a best like I don't say we're best friends that much anymore, but like he had a full ride at scholarship to Ohio State and it's free and everything, and like basically like I was like okay you're my best friend we're gonna keep in touch and shit, but like I think like a month later is that it just drops. And that's like after I saw that and like Life is Strange was like holy shit this shit's like I feel it.
Where Life is Strange really gets to me and where I relate to Chloe is I'm gonna try not to cry explaining this here, but I had a Rachel Amber in my life. And practically I didn't lose her name was Savannah. Her the same way Chloe did, like she wasn't murdered, but she killed herself. So in Life is Strange episode 2 where you played as Max, if you don't save Kate, like if she ends up killing herself, I feel like how Max felt. And then what broke my heart too is when Chloe and Max find Rachel dead. I was practically how Chloe was. I was angry. I was pissed. I was bawling for days because I lost practically who I believe was my soulmate. I lost my best friend. Um, so I really relate to this game and like and dedication to it. I'm having two things each that represent Max, Chloe, and Rachel. Um, uh, episode, it's like it's really heartbreaking, and then it gets me really angry with how Max practically treated Chloe.
Yeah.
Towards the end of my stream, like I said, I was bawling on stream, and I was like, I'm sorry for getting emotional, but it's like, you know, this game, like, I was bawling my eyes out. I was like, I'm sorry for getting emotional, but it's like,
Your
this
father.
game has meant so much to me, you know, it's really impacted my life, and practically I'm shouting out every one of the big famous women from Life is Strange. And my friend Lunar, he clipped it, and he posted it on Twitter, and he tagged all of them in it. And he's like, if it wasn't for you guys, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have had the best friend I do today.
Yeah.
Tonight, I wake up, and then Rihanna, who voices Chloe in Before the Storm in the first 3 episodes, to it, and she's like, stop, I'm crying, you know, nothing but love for you, so glad that you let this game into your heart. The world wouldn't be the same without you and your weirdly charming crying voice. I'm like, I started dying of laughter there, because like, she is like, I mean, if it comes to anything, like, I don't know much about Rihanna.
Yeah.
Ashley, there's a lot of hate going on the voice actors of Before the Storm. Ashley didn't come back until Farewell, but it's like, to me, Rihanna did an amazing job.
Yeah.
Amazing job as Chloe.
Honestly, I went to her Before the Storm. I can't like honestly, I really couldn't tell the difference. Like the voice acting was like it was good. I thought it was good. Like I honestly, I didn't know they had like different voice actors.
Voice actors, I mean, to me, I could tell right away, mainly because I will play that game over and over again. I don't care how many
Yeah.
times it
Yeah.
emotionally destroys me, but to like people voicing as Chloe is, I don't know Rihanna's story, so I don't know if she relates to Chloe, but I know from as long as I have, especially, you know, being a fan of her because she voices Tiny Tina from Borderlands, she definitely relates to Chloe a lot. So she is the kind of like the practically the OG Chloe, if you would say.
Yeah.
All the games I've listed are like a really good 10 out of 10 recommend. It's just, if you ever try Life is Strange and then Before the Storm, like I said, I recommend playing Before the Storm first and then Life is Strange, because I really wish they released Before the Storm first, because when I was in Life is Strange, every time I saw Rachel, I just wanted to cry, because I'm like, I know where you end up, but I'm gonna act like it doesn't happen anyway.
Yeah, I was watching playthrough of it, and they're like they was like I wonder what happens to Rachel Amber. Like even like like the last chapter and everything. They're like, so it doesn't even show us like what really happened to her. Like it's just like we know what happened to her, but it doesn't like show what happened to her.
Practically the only thing you get to see at the end of episode 3 of what happened to Rachel is, I fucking cried at this ending too, of course. Is you see 17 missed calls from Chloe, and then all you
Yeah,
hear is the camera
yeah,
going off in the dark room, and I'm just like, you don't end with the cutesy shit, and then you don't end with that. That's
yeah,
not okay.
yeah. That's crazy. Um,
Rest in peace.
A lot of people are think Jefferson killed Rachel, and I'm like, okay, in a sense, he did, but if anything, full-fledged right to hate Nathan, because Nathan overall was actually the one who killed her physically. He accidentally drugged her too much, and he overdosed her.
yeah,
And but at the same time, you gotta feel bad for him, because he's a teenage boy disorders, and Jefferson practically took advantage of that, because he knew his home life wasn't the greatest either, because and Before the Storm especially, you really get to see how much
how
of a dick his
yeah,
dad
yeah,
is.
his dad is dick.
Where, like, more spoiler alerts, when Max escapes from the dark room, I actually started crying, and I felt bad for Nathan, because when he leaves Max a voicemail, he's literally out. He's scared because practically Jefferson came to kill him. He's like, I'm so sorry, Max. I didn't mean to hurt you. I didn't mean to kill Rachel. I didn't mean to hurt or kill anybody. Jefferson's probably going to get me after this, and I'm just letting you know he's coming after you next. And it's just like, it's like, oh my god, it's like I still don't like him, but it's like that gave me more respect and like kind of like made me feel really bad for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that
You
game.
could
Like,
tell with how he was crying, he felt horrible.
yeah, like if you're playing that game, you just, get a box of tissues and just, you got the. It's gonna be a struggle.
Get a
No lotion though.
tissues,
Just the
get a
tissue.
giant
I'm
tub of
dead.
chocolate ice cream.
Like just a gallon, just get a big ass spoon, just eat your tears, eat your tears, and your emotions away.
It'll help melt the ice cream. All right,
Um,
I gotta go. I got stuff to do.
All right.
Oh
Thanks
wow!
for
I feel bad.
letting me talk.
I feel bad. I talked.
No,
No,
you're fine.
no.
We
no,
can
no,
we
it's
can
fine.
we can still continue if you want.
Yeah, you guys can keep going. I just gotta go. So thanks for letting me come on and talk and listen. I have a lot of new games to play now. Thanks a lot. I don't have a lot of money to spend.
Where can they find you at?
You can find me on my YouTube, youtube.com/TIZILER1000. I can't change my URL again. And then Twitch is just my name, and that's really all I have right now.
I'll link it to in the description.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It was fun.
You can link. Do you have your stuff linked to your account, like connected to your account?
I think so. Pretty sure.
I'll have to find you that way. If not, you can send me a Discord message, and I'll definitely.
All right. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right. Yep.
All right. Talk to you later.
So is that all you had to talk about? That's all the games you played, or
like honestly, between Final Fantasy and then Life is Strange, I could probably talk like for hours on end about it. Like I've had to mute my mic a couple of times when you guys were beginning to talk because I was like, holy crap, like holy shit, my chest is hurting. I feel like I'm gonna lose my voice after tonight. Like literally, I could go on for hours.
Yeah. But since are you done, or do you want to talk about anything? All right. I actually how do you feel about like the loot boxes, and not loot boxes, but battle royale games? Like, do you like battle royale, like Fortnite, or have you ever played Fortnite or PUBG?
I haven't played PUBG, but from what I've seen of gameplay of PUBG and then Fortnite, if I had to choose between the two, and it's not. I hate how people are like, Fortnite's stupid because of the cartoony, the cartoony graphics. And I'm like, listen, better graphics doesn't always mean a better game. And if anything, you see all the issues PUBG has. Fortnite is like, they fix their issues, it seems like right off the bat. And it's like, that's why I like it. I actually, like, if you met me a couple years ago, I would have been like, if there was ever a Battle Royale game, I would not touch it. Now it's like, since it's becoming more common, I actually was like, I'll give it a try. So I actually really like Fortnite. Like, if anything, I would recommend it. I mean, given it's too mainstream right now, and that's why I try not to stream it, because it's like, it at once, it's like, I'm probably going to only get like one viewer out of the community. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, I play it on my own time.
Yeah. I mean, to me, honestly, I like Fortnite. PUBG can be good. It's just like there's so many bugs that makes it bad, and like I feel like the developers, I don't want to say they don't work their ass off, but like they need to do their shit. Like they need to hurt. Like if you guys gotta hire more people, or you gotta work overtime, like you guys need to do it, because there's a lot of bugs that need to be fixed in that game. And I just like,
that's why I said I don't really like PUBG. I would have to choose Fortnite over anything.
Like me, I like Fortnite, but it's just like battle royale games. Like I just don't like. Like I really don't like them. Like I mean, they're fun, but then I feel like they get boring after a while. Like me, like I'm the type of guy that just like, or type of person that just like, I like to play like, I could play Skyrim like every day if I wanted to. Like I love RPG games. RPG games are games that have any skills or abilities that you have to level up. I can play those games 24/7.
That's how I feel too. Like, and that's why I really like as I do, because like it doesn't run out of stuff to do. Like You can like, especially when you get things more unlocked in like Austria, which is like your main area
Yeah.
that you stay at. You can actually end up growing, like, growing your own herbs, so you don't have to go on expeditions to get them.
Yeah.
So you can grow like your own herbs. You can grow your own honey. You can practically make your own stuff in this garden.
Yeah.
Even raise your own bugs, because some bugs you actually have to use to make weapons, like especially for elemental effects. Like for thunder bugs, you have to make that to get like thunder ammo. Raise a crap ton of thunder bugs, and then I'd have like literally max thunder ammo ready at my hands, and I wouldn't have to go out and hunt them on an expedition.
Yeah. 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 And that's why like me like I feel like battle royale. I feel like it's gonna be here for a while, but then I feel like it's eventually. I feel like it's gonna die out. Truthfully, a lot of people are like, "Oh no, you're crazy saying that," but it's gonna be its time. Like I feel like people are gonna start noticing and be like, "Holy shit, this game is it's kind of boring after you play it like 5 times a day." Well, after you play like the probably like the 10th time or 8th time, whatever. Um, it's just like you're doing the same thing. You're building. You're trying to get number one. Whatever, same thing. I mean, yeah, you have some funny moments in it and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's just like you can only like take so much from this game. Where like to me, like RPGs are just like they just throw you out there and it's like the possibilities are just limitless. Like you just do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. Like, it's just like a nonstop challenge. I mean, like, Battle Royale, yeah, it's going to be around for a while. It's really big right now, but eventually it will die out, just like anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Since I think we're like pretty much done talking about more fucking battle royale games and stuff like that. But what do you want to see from E3 since that's coming up?
At E3, I'm hoping to see more information about the new Life is Strange that's been confirmed. And then I'm also really hoping to see more information about Black Ops 4. I'm curious to see what they have in mind for that.
I feel like Black Ops 3. No, I mean Black Ops 4. I feel like it would be. I feel like it's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good. I feel like. I don't know what they're gonna do because I mean the stories are like really fucking crazy. Obviously, Black Ops 3 story was not as good as Black Ops 2 or 1, but like Black Ops 2 stories like you're like the campaign takes you from like the Vietnam War to like the modern futuristic world, which is like cool because there weren't like jetpacks or anything by then, but it's like still like crazy technology that they were using, and it's like people, it's like kind of like modern futuristic kind of thing. There was like a city in the middle of the fucking like ocean, which was really cool to see in that game and stuff like that. But
Mm.
yeah, that's. Is there any more you want to see there or see from there?
Top two I can think of straight away is like Black Ops 4 and Life is Strange 2. Um, Actually, you know what? No, I'm hoping to see more about information about the Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I am
What
too.
I've seen of it seems like it's just going to be Monsters Incorporated. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Love that Disney. No, it's not Disney. It's Pixar. I love that Pixar movie, but it's like kind of going back to what you said earlier with I don't want it to be all Monsters Inc. like how 2 was all Final Fantasy.
Yeah. Well, the thing like Kingdom Hearts 3 is just like I love Kingdom Hearts 3. I think that was like my first like I don't know how old I was, but I think I was like 12 or like 13. I picked that game up on PS2 with Kingdom Hearts 1. I was like I don't really like this game, but then like I didn't even finish Kingdom Hearts 1, but I played Kingdom Hearts 2. I was like, holy shit, I love this game. This game is actually really cool. And like I didn't know none of the fantasy like Final Fantasy characters. I didn't like the only characters I knew was Disney characters, and I was like, no, where are these characters from? And I started looking up on the internet. And I was like, holy shit, Final Fantasy. And then that's when I discovered Final Fantasy, and I started looking at Final Fantasy stuff. I was like, I gotta play Final Fantasy now. Like, and that's like, I don't know, that's cool. But like, I feel like Kingdom Hearts 3, I feel like they're gonna have to have Star Wars in it. It's gonna have to have Star Wars. There's no way they're not gonna have that in there.
With how Disney owns Star Wars, I'm just waiting for waiting for a Star Wars to be interacted with it. So I full force agree with that. And then when it comes to Final Fantasy, I've been with Final Fantasy literally since the beginning. Like I have the first game for my PlayStation 1. I mean everything. I mean, I've been with it through and through. So it's like questions about Final Fantasy, you can come to me, ya boy. So I mean, like, who knows what E3 will bring, but there's not going to be Star Wars in this one since it seems to be just really revolving around Monsters Incorporated. Honestly, like I said, with how Disney owns Star Wars, I really wish they didn't. But with how Disney owns Star Wars now, I'm practically just waiting.
Yeah.
To input it somewhere into that. And then another thing I'm also waiting on too now is since Disney owns Marvel as well, who knows, we may see a Kingdom Hearts game in the future that has Thor or Spider-Man, you know, all that.
Yeah. I mean, they could probably do it now. Honestly, just have like one Marvel superhero in it. They could have Captain America in it since he's like the more popular one out of everybody. Well, I don't know if he's the more popular one, but a lot of people like him, a lot of little kids. What's so crazy about Kingdom Hearts though? It's like a kids game. It's weird because like it's like if like it doesn't feel like a game for adults, but like most of the people that play are like adults. That's how I felt about it. I don't know if anybody else feel different about it. Like like Mario, like a lot of people like kids play Mario, but a lot of the people that play Mario are mostly adults. Well, they have I don't know if it's mostly adults, but they have a large group that are adults. But is that all you have to say? Because I can tell you what I want to
Yeah. So those practically are really the only 3 things I'm looking to see out of E3. Our information on all of those things, like what to expect, really just what to expect, gonna be about. And I'm just really worried of Black Ops 4 because I love, besides the Modern Warfare series, I love the Black Ops series. And I swear, if they butcher it with 4, I'm gonna like slap Activision, whoever's making it, in the face and be like, "You done goofed. You soiled
you
it."
done goof. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it'd be fine.
It will.
It probably will be, hopefully. But are you done now?
uh,
um, I don't know what I'm mostly looking forward to. E3 is hopefully, I know Bethesda's working on their Starfield game, which is a sci-fi RPG, which is like, I guess it's gonna be like their Mass Effect RPG that they're working on. Which no, it'd be cool to see that, but also it's just like they've been like giving so much stuff out. Like they just came out for their card game, they just came out with DLC. Then they just had the studio open in Austin, and I think they released a lot more content for like their games. Like I know Prey's getting a DLC, probably I think a Moon DLC or something like that. I'm not sure, but so far that's what it looks like. And but what's crazy is that Fallout 4, even though a lot of people were disappointed about it, it was like their biggest like Fallout game they ever made. I think they made like $1 billion off of it or something like that. I think they hopefully if their Starfield game doesn't come out this year, I think they will have. I think they're working up a spinoff for Fallout. It's either gonna come out this year or probably later this year. Or, I don't know. I hope. I want to play another Fallout because I feel like Fallout 4 was just like it was kind of disappointing, but it was good, but it was just like really disappointing to play. But That's one of the things I also want to see. And another thing it would be like, there's a lot of things at E3 I really want to see. I think Fallout and Starfield is probably the biggest thing I want to see so far. But also is I don't know. EA said they're working on an open world RPG. I think that's what they open world RPG not Starfield, but Star Wars game that they're working on. Which I don't know. I don't know how that's gonna go. EA is catching a lot of heat from Battlefront loot boxes and stuff like that, and I think they're just kind of ruining the Star Wars George Lucas title with their games and stuff. Yeah,
I was honestly really disappointed with because Battlefront 2 a remake. They should have just said remastered in the title, even though it was not really any of that. Irritated is you could still get on PlayStation 2 today, and the Battlefront 2 servers are still freaking going. And they just, I'm going to quote SpongeBob again, they soiled it.
Yeah. What? Well, it's just like Battle, like, I'm so disappointed in the Battlefront because it's like, I feel like EA's they're the developers who just pick games out that are just not like fully done. That I feel like they rushed it.
EA.
They like rushed it because they're like, okay, this is a Star Wars game. Like, no matter what, we're going to make a lot of money off of this, even though we don't have this game fully done. Like, I mean, they're right, but at the same time, it's like you can't. Like, I hate companies that are just like, let's rush out this game because we already know we're gonna make a lot of money off of it, even though we don't have like everything complete on it.
Practically how Assassin's Creed was.
Yeah, Ubisoft is
Assassin's Creed was trying to keep up with Call of Duty, trying to release one almost every year, it seemed like.
Yeah.
So that's why all of them are crappy.
Yeah,
played them. I still love them, but what Origins so good and what made Origins stand out is they literally took off, I think, 2 years to make it. They actually took their time with this Assassin's Creed. I didn't get to play much of it, but from what I did play, it was phenomenal. It's great. I'll recommend, to be honest.
Yeah, it's I kind of liked it, but I was like, what kind of threw me off is like it was kind of like a RPG. I was like, what the fuck? Like, are they actually like going to the RPG like elements now in Assassin's Creed? And they are, and I was like, I was shook because I was like, I can't believe they're doing this. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy, but then it's not because obviously you play like Assassin's Creed, you can kind of tell that. I think Assassin's Creed. I don't know if it had like a skill thing, like where you learn the skills, or like as you progress through the story, you learn it. But it's like, they had every right to put like a RPG element thing into it because
Oh yeah.
Like I think everybody plays their assassin, like they play Ezio, and like whatever assassin they're playing as like a little bit different. Like some people like to go balls to the wall and not play assassin. They like to just charge in there and just beat people. And other people like to be stealthy.
It took me a while at first that they made Assassin's Creed Origins kind of like an RPG, and like when I first noticed it was, I remember I was in, I think the first town you go to.
Yeah.
Thing I know, I see a dead body on the ground and it's someone's gamer tag. It's like, search so and so da da da's body and then avenge them if you want to. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, huh.
Yeah. But I'm trying to, actually, I'm gonna, if you have anything else to say, you can say it, but I'm about to actually look real fast and see what games I think should come out, hopefully during E3, or hopefully I can see E3.
Say, really, if anything, I'm probably gonna lose my voice after tonight, because oh my god, this is probably the most I've talked in a while.
No, it'd be cool to see Crackdown 3 at E3. We haven't saw that yet. We know they're working on Borderlands 3 too. It'd be cool to see there. Hopefully they present it. I think they will. Then what? Final Fantasy 7 they're remaking, right? Is there? I think it's Final Fantasy 7 if I'm not wrong. Or
Final Fantasy 7 they already remade.
what's the one with Seth Rollston?
And Cloud first were introduced with and so it is 7.
Yeah, I'll like to see something on that. No, Spider-Man, the people who made I forgot that one game. But it's a game where you basically like grind on electric cables in the fucking, I don't even know.
Drive.
Yeah, I think they're making Spider-Man. Would like to see Spider-Man. Oh, actually, the people who made you ever played Witcher?
I have never played Witcher. I haven't even watched gameplay. I've heard a lot of good things about it though.
Yeah, if you ever get the chance, you should probably. Their game is actually really cheap. Like Witcher 2 is cheap. Witcher 1, you don't have to play Witcher 1, but you play Witcher 2. Witcher 2 is really good. Witcher 3 is fucking amazing. It made I think it's honestly better than Elder Scrolls fucking Skyrim. But they're making a new sci-fi fucking cyberpunk game RPG that's supposedly coming out soon. They're working on that, which I'd like to see at E3. Then you ever play Last of Us?
It's funny because I got it for Easter, so either later on tonight or tomorrow I'm gonna actually be streaming it, doing a blind run.
All right, well they're making a part 2. I'm just saying, Last of Us, it's good. It's really good. It's a really it's gonna have motions. It's gonna have motions. It's a good game. But that's all I want to see at E3. If you have anything to add on there, or if you have any opinions. Is that it?
Like I said, I'm running out of what to talk about.
No, that's fine. That's fine. This is probably gonna be the end of the podcast then. But imagine that you would you say you have it? You can just tell them what you have and stuff before we end this. Like your Twitch and your social medias and.
I have a lot. So I guess we'll start with what I mainly use. Me out. I'm on Twitch as Vampire X Kisses. My YouTube is just Vampire Kisses. I don't have my custom URL yet because I don't have the to do so. My Twitter is Vampire XX Kisses. Instagram thing. And then if you want to add me on Snapchat, it's the same thing as well, Vampire XX Kisses. So it was nice networking with you, and I look forward to it more in the future, especially whenever I get my YouTube channel actually started.
Yeah, yeah, it'll be fun. But I'm about to end the podcast here, and I'll see you guys. And I don't know when I'm gonna do the next podcast. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm gonna do it every 2 weeks or a week or whatever. But I'll as in when I do the next podcast, I'll make sure I'll tell you guys what's gonna happen to the podcast and everything. But I see you guys in the next podcast.